Your brain is lying to you every single day. It tells you that you're not ready, that you should wait until tomorrow, that you need to think just a little bit more before you act. It convinces you that delaying is wisdom, that hesitation is safety, and that stillness is strength. But the truth is, that voice in your head, the one that sounds logical and mature, is not logic at all. It's fear pretending to be reason. Every time you imagine a new possibility, a risk, or a change, that voice begins whispering its favorite words. What if? What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you lose everything? And before you even realize it, you are frozen, trapped between who you are and who you could be, waiting for a moment of clarity that never comes. You tell yourself that thinking more will give you control, that if you plan perfectly, you'll finally feel safe. But it never works, because thinking more doesn't create clarity, it creates confusion. Overthinking feels smart, but it's actually your brain's most beautiful lie. It gives you the illusion of control while stealing the one thing that truly creates progress in action. The more you think, the less you move. The less you move, the louder the doubt becomes. And soon you find yourself living in a mental cage built entirely from thoughts that sound intelligent but keep you small. Psychology calls this cognitive looping, the process where your brain repeats the same thought patterns over and over, not to find truth, but to avoid discomfort. You see, your brain isn't built for happiness. It's built for survival. Its job is not to make you feel fulfilled, it's to keep you alive. And for the brain, alive means safe. Even if that safety means staying in the same place, repeating the same mistakes, or reliving the same pain. The unknown, to your brain, feels dangerous, so it builds walls of logic to keep you inside the familiar. That's why you can dream big, but act small. That's why you can know exactly what you need to do, yet still do nothing. Because deep down, your brain confuses discomfort with danger. It doesn't understand that the fear of failure won't kill you, it just feels like it will. So instead of moving forward, it floods you with thoughts. What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if I'm not enough? Each thought feels urgent. Each one feels real, but they're not, they're distractions. Decoys created to protect you from feeling the raw, unpredictable emotion of uncertainty. Silence scares your brain, because silence means you might have to feel. So it fills that silence with noise, thoughts, worries, analysis, endless mental chatter. But here's the truth. Your brain doesn't want you to know. Safety and growth cannot exist in the same place. If you choose safety every time, you'll spend your life overthinking what could have been. The voice that says you're not ready is lying. You don't need more thinking. You need more trust. Clarity doesn't come from thought. It comes from movement. Action reveals what overthinking hides. The moment you take a step, no matter how small, your brain quiets down, because movement gives it proof. It realizes the monster it imagined isn't real. The danger it predicted never arrives. And in that space, you begin to hear something softer, something deeper yourself. The part of you that exists beneath fear. The part that knows what you want, even when you can't explain why. That's the real you. The version your brain keeps trying to protect, but accidentally imprisons. Overthinking isn't intelligence. It's avoidance. It's your mind's clever way of dodging the vulnerability that comes with living fully. Because when you truly live, when you risk, when you love, when you fail, you expose yourself. And your brain hates exposure. It craves the illusion of control. But control is the enemy of peace. Real peace doesn't come from managing every outcome. It comes from trusting yourself to handle whatever outcome arrives. That's the paradox. The more you surrender control, the safer you actually feel. Because safety doesn't come from certainty. It comes from self-trust. When you trust yourself, you no longer need to predict the future to feel secure. You just know that whatever happens, you'll handle it. That's freedom. That's the truth your brain doesn't want you to see. It's not your enemies, just confused. conditioned by evolution and experience to believe that uncertainty equals danger. But uncertainty is not dangerous life. It's possibility. Every moment of beauty, love, discovery, and success you've ever experienced came from uncertainty. Yet your brain keeps you locked in the illusion that thinking more will make you safer, when in reality, it's the very thing that keeps you stuck. The truth is, your brain doesn't stop lying the moment you realize it. It stops when you stop obeying it. The only way to break the cycle of overthinking is to act while you're still uncertain. It's to move even when your brain is screaming for safety. Because action is the one language your mind truly respects. When you move, your brain adapts. You take that first imperfect step. The world doesn't collapse. It opens. Every small act of courage becomes a signal to your nervous system that you're not in danger. You're growing. That's how you rebuild trust with yourself, not by thinking less, but by proving through experience that you can survive discomfort. Every time you act despite fear, you rewire your mind to understand that uncertainty isn't the enemy. You start to breathe differently, start to think differently. You stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if I never try? Because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's people who change. Their lives aren't the ones who think the most. They're the ones who move first. They begin scared. They begin unprepared. They begin anyway. And through movement, they find clarity. Through mistakes, they find strength. Through repetition, they build confidence. So the next time your brain tells you, don't do it, you're not ready, smile, because now you know that voice isn't truth. It's just fear wearing a familiar mask. And fear only has power when you stop moving. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that hears them. You are not your fear. You are the strength that walks through it. You are not stuck. You are simply paused, waiting for permission that will never come. So give it to yourself. Take the step. Send a message. Start the project. Trust the process. Because when you act, your brain listens. And when it finally sees that you can survive the unknown, it stops trying to protect you from it. That's the moment your mind begins to heal. That's the moment your life begins to shift. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's just been scared for too long. Okay? But now it's time for you to lead. Lead it into uncertainty. Lead it into courage. Lead it into life. 'Cause beyond fear, beyond hesitation, beyond every lie your mind has ever told you, that's where your real self lives. And once you meet that version of you, you'll never want to go back. This is Dr. A. Carter, and together, we're decoding the self, one thought at a time. If you felt this message, hit that subscribe button, because understanding your brain is the first step to mastering your life.